Ooni of Ife was said to have applauded to Olori Tobi. Applauded Olori Tobi for telling herself the whole truth about everything that has been happening to her in that palace. From what we heard, allegedly, I will always remind you, we do not live in the palace. I am just a blogger. When I saw information, I share with you. I don't live there. So, they said before now, Toby used to boast in the palace, telling Mariam Ronkedem that the king is always calling her to come to his bed, that the king is always pampering her more than the others. And that is before Dr. Elizabeth enters the palace. Even after Dr. Elizabeth entered the palace, the king is always looking at Toby's face. The last thing the king will see is where Toby is crying. And that Toby noticed that anytime anything goes wrong, especially when it takes days or weeks that the king have not, knack hand, all of that, they say Toby will be going around the palace crying. And the moment Ooni hears about it, he will call her. And just to tell you that Toby is like a baby, a special baby to the king. Then, and Mariam will always fight Toby because of that. The two reasons why Mariam is always fighting Toby in that palace is because of this. This is one. And that is why Mariam will always remind you that, look, don't think that you are a daughter to the king. You are just a wife to the king and all of that. Why will you be crying like a baby in the palace? Then another reason why they said Mariam is always fighting Toby is because of the color of dresses that Toby is always wearing in the palace. From what we heard, they said the wives of the king, they are supposed to be wearing white. Everything white. And if you check their dressings, you find out that it is more of white than other colors. But check Toby's own. I don't even think she have white. That is to tell you that she doesn't abide by the rules. And Mariam, who sees herself as the Yolua, will always want to fight Toby. Why are you not wearing white? You're supposed to wear white, this and that. And they said the king doesn't interfere, especially when Toby is involved. He will not tell Toby, oh yeah, go and change because Mariam said you should change, or because he allows Toby to feel free and be herself and be the baby girl that she is. So Toby, from what we heard, the king loves Toby, and will always show her that love, even when some of these wives doesn't want it. That is to tell you how good the king was to Toby while they were in that palace. And this is happening because during that period, Toby will always show the king, I don't care if you go for Queen Naomi or if you don't go for Queen Naomi. She doesn't show any attitude that tells that she is fighting Queen Naomi's return. And the king will always show her love, pamper her. Then, when Dr. Elizabeth enters the palace, and it looks as if that love was kind of shifted, but not completely, of which it is expected, because Dr. Elizabeth is a new wife. She needed the king's attention. But that does not stop the king from attending to Toby, who will always come out to boast that the king loves her more than the rest of them. That is why the king is always calling her to come to his bed and all of that. You know what it means for a co-wife to be telling her co-wife that our husband like to knack me more than you. Or maybe I sabi give am to the king more than you. Something like that. I don't know. It could be possible that Mariam did something that will make the king to hate Toby because she doesn't like the way Toby boasts about her closeness with the king. I'm not saying there is, but they are capable of it from what we are hearing. Now, when Toby started being jealous of Queen Naomi, yes, because when Dr. Elizabeth came and started with the quest of helping the king to go for Queen Naomi, it looks as if Toby was not happy about the decision. Toby now joined force to fight against Queen Naomi's return. That was when the king stopped showing her all the love and affection. That is why sometimes you hear that Toby went to her family and reported to her uncle that her husband is not looking her way, the husband is not showing her love and affection. And the uncles, they will carry their two left leg and come to the palace to tell the king, look, oh, you know that Toby is still a young girl, she needs you to spend time with her, to love her, to show her affection and all of that. See, this complaint started the moment Oni realizes that Toby is not in support of his reunion with Queen Naomi. And ever since then, a lot of things changed, you know. And that is why we heard that when Toby is pregnant and complained that they are bewitching her in the palace, the husband did not do anything about it. Remember that when Dr. Elizabeth complained of sleep paralysis problem, they said the king took it upon himself to ensure that he invited some Ifa priest who exposed the people that are doing that in the palace, and they even make sure that they did something to stop it. But during Toby's own, the king did not do anything. Some people said the king did not do anything because ever since Toby enters the palace, it has been, I am pregnant today, I have miscarriage tomorrow. So the king is tired of hearing all of that. I don't know whichever one, but what we are hearing right now is that Toby called the king and was kind of pleading for his forgiveness, that she took all the blame, that she noticed very well that while she was not fighting the reunion between the king and Queen Naomi, that the king was showing her love, the king was taking good care of her, the king pampers her. But ever since she started joining force with Mariam and Ronke to fight against Queen Naomi, that was when her predicament started. Okay, they said the king almost gave Queen Naomi almost half of her property, you know, and this is something that made Toby to start regretting, because she believed that if not that she fought Queen Naomi, that the king must have given something to her. Hey, so, and come to think of it, that is exactly what it is. The king was taking good care of her, you know, until she started fighting the king's happiness. When you are fighting someone's happiness, that person will abandon you, that person will overlook you. And this is exactly what the king did. He overlooked Toby, and that is why Toby is crying from her father's house to her maternal side to Lekki Mansion, where she will stay for 6 hours and they will not allow her in. Go back to the palace now. No, she's afraid of staying in the palace. The same palace that they don't want Queen Naomi to come back to. So she's taking all the blame. She said that the only thing she needed now is to go on a vacation all by herself, so that she will see if she will forget all the things that is happening. You know, that she took the blame, that she is so sorry, that from this time henceforth, that she's not going to fight against the king's happiness any longer, so that the king will make her happy. It's a good decision, though. That is if she's going to stick to it. So guys, when I hear this, I say I will come and share it with you. Don't forget that they're all alleged information, okay? Always bear that in mind. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Love you guys.